Welcome back, guys. Today we are going to talk about a billionaire who pretends to be disabled. And to know why he does this, you have to stay till the end. Without further ado, let's begin the video. This is the story of a rich businessman from France named Jocelyn, who is about to turn 50, but he is still a playboy who flirts with every girl. To make himself look young, he does daily jogging and regular medical checkups, and due to his wealth, sports car, and charming look, he succeeds in attracting girls towards him. Then, by hiding his real age and telling lies one after the other, he somehow traps them in his trap. But he does not respect girls at all and considers them only a thing for debauchery, so he is not even married yet. But he keeps his debauchery completely away from his business. He is the owner of a sports shoe manufacturing company, and he has many female employees in his office, including his secretary, but he never gets close to them. He does not flirt with his secretary, but just focuses on profits like a grumpy boss and does not care much about his employees. One day he is having lunch with one of his friends, Max, who is also his doctor. He asks Jocelyn, "When will you stop trapping girls by lying?" To this, Jocelyn says that I like a challenge a lot, so by lying, I become a new person every time, and as this new person, flirting with a girl becomes a challenge, which I enjoy a lot. Now, being a friend, Max explains to him that you are going to turn 50 soon, so there is still time. Stop lying, or else one day you will find someone in front of whom your lies will not work. Then Jocelyn gets a phone call, and he comes to know that his mother has died. Jocelyn was not very close to his mother and never went to meet her, but still he becomes very sad after hearing the news of her death. Now he takes his sports car and goes to attend his mother's funeral. He quickly joins a funeral, but he sees that none of these people are his family or relatives, which makes him understand that he has joined someone else's funeral. Now he quietly sneaks out of there and reaches his mother's real funeral, where his brother Lucien, as well as all his relatives who did not like him at all, are present. During the funeral itself, Jocelyn's brother gives him the key to their mother's house and tells him that their mother wanted Jocelyn to go there once before selling it. So the next day, Jocelyn goes to his mother's house and sits in her wheelchair and starts looking at some of her old things, which also had a lot of photos of Jocelyn from her childhood to youth, and there was an old cassette. When played, his mother's favorite song starts playing in it, which Jocelyn also liked a lot. Suddenly, while listening to the song, he starts dancing on the wheelchair itself, and before he could stand up to dance, he sees a beautiful girl. The girl was standing behind him and watching him. She tells Jocelyn her name is Julie and says that she has come to live in his neighborhood today, so she needs someone's help in carrying some heavy luggage. Jocelyn was always looking for such an opportunity, and today the opportunity came to him by itself, so he quickly said that, okay, he would be very happy to help you. Saying this, he is about to get up from the wheelchair, but then Julie says that no, you sit, I will manage. On hearing this, Jocelyn now understands that Julie is actually considering him a handicapped person. Julie tells him that she works to take care of people like Jocelyn, and if he wants, he can hire her to take care of himself. What else did Jocelyn want? He goes to the city and takes an office meeting of his company, and after this, the next day he again goes to his hometown, and sitting on a wheelchair, he goes to the apartment of the same girl, Julie, and calls her to his mother's house to have coffee. She immediately agrees. Here Jocelyn flirts with him. He was trying to do it, but Julie kept asking him different questions, like whether he is married and what work he does. Jocelyn first tells him that he doesn't do any work because of his handicap, but when Julie gets up and starts leaving from there on hearing this, Jocelyn feels that his plan is failing, so now he says that he did not want to tell anyone here, but in reality he is the managing director of a sports shoe manufacturing company in Paris. Hearing this, Julie now seems very interested in him and invites Jocelyn to a barbecue party on Sunday at her parents' house, and leaves from there after giving him a smile, but Jocelyn did not know that there is a secret hidden behind this smile. Finally, on Sunday, Jocelyn goes there and parks his sports car at a place far away from Julie's house. After this, ignoring the surprised eyes of a man standing there, he sits in a wheelchair and reaches Julie's house from there. Julie introduces him to her family, and now Jocelyn understands why Julie has called him here. Actually, Julie has an elder sister, Florence, who is handicapped, and she too can walk only with the help of a wheelchair. Jocelyn's lie proved costly for her today. He had gone because Julie was trying to set him up with her elder sister and not her. Now everyone else in the house goes inside, leaving Jocelyn and Florence together, but Jocelyn was not interested in Florence, so he does not talk to her and keeps looking at his watch as if he wants to leave from here. But then, breaking the silence, Florence starts talking to him, and after asking Jocelyn about herself, she tells him that she plays tennis in the handicap league and also plays violin with a big orchestra band for which she has to tour not only the country but also abroad. Hearing this, Jocelyn gets a little impressed because despite having a handicap, doing so much was a big deal. Also, she is very funny, and her sense of humor is also very good. But despite all this, Jocelyn does not look at her with the eyes like he looks at other girls. In his eyes, he has only one respect for Florence and nothing else. After this, he comes to the city and tells all these things to his friend Max. Max makes him understand. He thinks that because of Julie, his sister will get involved, so he should forget Julie and stop going to his mother's house so that all this drama will end here. But one day he has to go to his hometown again to offer flowers on his mother's grave. Here his brother Lucian tells him that whatever he is doing is not right. Actually, when Lucian went to his mother's house, he met Julie there, from whose words he came to know about Jocelyn's lie about handicap. But still he did not tell anything to Julie. Jocelyn feels bad about his brother's words, but still he accepts Max and his brother's words and decides never to go to his mother's house again and gets busy in his daily life. But one day when he is in his office, his assistant tells him that a handicapped girl named Florence wants to meet him. On hearing this, Jocelyn gets scared and quickly sits, hanging his legs over his desk. Now Florence comes inside and tells him that there is a tennis tournament going on in the city, so I have decided to go to his mother's house. I thought that I would meet you and apologize for my sister Julie's behavior because she was trying to bring us closer to each other, but it is not necessary that two people with the same condition have the same feelings for each other. Jocelyn now decides to tell her the truth. Why did he start this handicap drama? But then Florence asks him, "Where is your wheelchair?" Jocelyn is about to tell him the truth when Florence says that she knows why he does not keep a wheelchair in his office, because he does not want his clients to talk to him with pitying eyes. But she says that there is no need to hide your wheelchair. Whoever you are, however you are very good. You do not need to be ashamed of yourself, just like me. During this, Jocelyn's assistant Mary, for some unknown reason, starts peeping from the window again and again, and then starts disturbing him by telling him some work repeatedly on the intercom, due to which he is not able to tell Florence the truth. Florence now tells him that he has a match at 7 p.m., so if he wants, she leaves, saying that he can come there, and Jocelyn once again gets very impressed by her self-respect and sense of humor. So now he goes to watch her match in the evening, where a very good competition is seen between the two players. After coming here, Jocelyn starts getting even more impressed with Florence because, despite being handicapped, looking at Florence, it does not seem at all as if she has any complaint with life. After the match is over, Jocelyn tries to leave from there before coming in the sight of Florence, but at one place he hears Florence's voice coming out, so he quickly sits on a wheelchair nearby. Florence is very happy to see him, but she tells him that he is sitting on my wheelchair. Hearing this, Jocelyn gets nervous about what he should say now, but he was also an expert in lying. He says that when my driver brought me here in the car, I saw this wheelchair, so I left my wheelchair in the car itself, thinking that when the driver comes to pick me up, I will sit in the car like this without taking out the wheelchair and go. Hearing this, Florence laughs and tells him that it does not matter. I have another wheelchair, so you can use it as long as you want. When Jocelyn asks him to have coffee with her friends, he is unable to refuse, but all of Florence's friends are handicapped in some way or the other, so Jocelyn gets confused when he comes among them. While pretending to be handicapped among them, he sees the same things in his dreams at night, due to which he wakes up in fear and quickly starts touching his feet. Now he sends his assistant Mary to Florence's house to deliver her wheelchair. Mary also has to support Jocelyn in her lie. But when Florence realizes from her talk that she has started liking Jocelyn, she also gets angry at Jocelyn after coming back and tells her the date of Florence's music concert and says that you will have to go there in front of her by walking on both your feet without a wheelchair so that she will come to know the truth herself. Now Jocelyn goes to Florence's music concert, but this time he is also unable to muster courage and goes to the reception and asks for a wheelchair from them. But those people do not understand why he is asking for a wheelchair, so they give him a small electric scooter. Jocelyn sits in the balcony of the concert hall and starts watching Florence's music concert. During this time, he also notices her beauty, and somewhere he starts liking her. After the concert, he meets her and praises her music, but he lies to her that he had come here not to see her concert, but for some other work. Florence asks him to go for dinner with her, for which he immediately agrees. Now, since Jocelyn was not used to the wheelchair, Florence laughs a lot seeing his strange actions. In this way, they talk a lot, and they do not realize when the night passes in talking. In the morning, Florence starts going to her hotel room, and she also calls Jocelyn to have coffee. Actually, she was giving him a sign to come closer to her. Jocelyn was also getting drawn towards her, but then he stopped himself. This was the same Jocelyn who never hesitated to take advantage of girls all the time. He had used many girls and cheated them, and did not care at all about what would have happened to them. But he knew that he was not afraid of taking advantage of girls. No, because he did not want to break Florence's heart. He refuses to come to her room and kisses her on the cheek from outside and leaves from there. But Florence likes his style even more, and after coming home, she tells her sister that she has fallen in love with Jocelyn. On the other hand, Jocelyn was also not feeling good at all after returning from Florence's concert, and he was not able to understand what he should do. In this dilemma, finally he calls Florence and invites her to his house for dinner. When his assistant Mary comes to know about this, she feels bad for some reason, but she does not let this be known in front of Jocelyn. Max also explains to Jocelyn that she should end this story here because its end can be very sad. Jocelyn also finds his words right. And during dinner at his home, he tries to tell Florence his truth many times, but facing the truth is not so easy, so he is not able to say anything immediately. But in the meantime, Florence tells him about her ex-boyfriend, because of whom Florence had ended all relations. Jocelyn also says that she could have forgiven such a mistake, but Florence says that no, I never forgive a liar. Hearing this, Jocelyn loses her senses, and he feels that it is good that she did not tell the truth. Now he presses a remote button, due to which the floor below them starts sinking in a swimming pool. Both look into each other's eyes, and after spending some romantic moments in the swimming pool, today they come very close to each other. After this loving feeling, Florence becomes very happy, but Jocelyn was emotional. He was not able to understand whether he did right or wrong. He asks Max about this, and then seeing his condition, Max says that you have fallen in love with Florence, so he says that now you should tell her the truth. After this, one day Jocelyn takes Max and his assistant Mary to meet Florence because she wanted to meet his friends, and apart from Max and Mary, there was no one who knew about his lies. Max goes with him, but he clearly tells him that if you don't tell Florence the truth today, then I will tell her. Now they meet Florence in a restaurant where she also introduces him to a friend from her music band. Here, when Jocelyn is not able to say anything even after a long time, Max starts telling Florence that I want to tell you something. On hearing this, Jocelyn spills sauce on himself and asks Max to take him to the washroom. In the washroom, he tells him that this is not the right place and right time to tell the truth to Florence. Then Florence's friend comes there. Now, despite not wanting to, Max starts supporting her in her lies, and in this way, even today, Jocelyn does not tell Florence the truth. But now, on the other hand, it is shown that Jocelyn's brother, Lucian, has had an affair with Florence's sister, Julie, and he is having an affair with her. Julie tells Julie about her brother's lie. Upon finding out, Julie goes straight to Jocelyn and slaps her on the cheek. She gives her 48 hours and says that if she doesn't tell Florence the truth within 48 hours, she will make her life hell. Jocelyn doesn't understand what to do, because if she tells Florence the truth, she will leave him for all his lies. In this dilemma, he goes to meet his father, who is enjoying himself in an old-age home on Jocelyn's money. Here we come to know that Jocelyn has taken after his father because the lecherous old man was flirting with many old women in front of him. On hearing Jocelyn's problem, he tells her the name of a place where there is a church where miracles are said to happen. He explains to her that if she goes there, she should just stand up from her wheelchair and start walking. Everyone will think that she has been miraculously cured. Jocelyn thinks this is a very bad idea, but she doesn't know how to do it. Within an hour, there was no better idea than this. On the other hand, Julie is advising Florence to stay away from Jocelyn without telling her the truth. Then Florence gets a call from Jocelyn. He asks her to accompany him to that miraculous place, for which Florence says yes. But seeing Julie worried for herself, she tells her that I know that Jocelyn is not handicapped. He can walk like normal people, and I have known this for a long time. Julie looks at her in surprise and asks how she came to know. On this, Florence smiles and says that I have spent more than half of my life in a wheelchair, so it did not take me much time to know that he is pretending to be handicapped. But still, I let him pretend because due to his lie, I started getting some happy moments that I did not want to lose. I just wanted to let it continue because it will be very sad when it ends. Now, Jocelyn, Max, Marie, and Florence leave for that place in a car. Where it is said that a miracle is going to happen, all three were very nervous that they don't know whether Florence will believe in this miracle or not. But Florence herself starts talking as if she has full faith in the miracles happening at that place. But she notices that even after saying all this, Jocelyn was looking very upset. Now when they reach that place, the priest of the church, first of all, calls Jocelyn and takes her inside the church and says that he knows that she is not handicapped. And anyway, no miracles happen here. People just keep coming here with false hopes, so don't do something that increases their false hopes even more. Hearing this from the priest, Jocelyn starts leaving from there, but while leaving he asks him, "How did you know that my legs are not paralyzed?" On this, the priest says that he recognized it from your shoes because they are a little worn out. In this way, Jocelyn comes out of the church in the wheelchair, and everyone starts walking towards home. On the way, they stop at a store on the side of the road to eat and drink something where Florence joins them. She was looking at the sad faces carefully, and a lot was going on in her mind too. While she was lost in deep thoughts, she suddenly came to the middle of the road and was about to get hit by a truck when Jocelyn caught her and pulled her out from in front of the truck. Seeing this, he starts saying miracles, miracles, supporting Jocelyn's lie. Max also starts saying the same thing, but Jocelyn is not able to pretend anymore because Florence's eyes were telling everything. Without saying anything, he starts avoiding her gaze, and Florence goes towards the car crying. Today, he starts feeling so low in Florence's eyes that he sends those three away, and he himself takes a lift in another car and comes to the city. After coming to the city, he starts behaving very sad and dejected. After a few days, he also sponsors a handicap tournament on behalf of his company. But after hurting Florence, he is broken from the inside and is not able to gather the courage to face her. But then one day he takes the car and goes towards Florence's house, and after some time, he goes to Florence's house. He stops her bus on the way to the concert. After boarding the bus, he is only able to say sorry to Florence and comes back from there without listening to her reply, because Florence had told him that she never forgives a liar. After this, one day Jocelyn calls his assistant Mary to his office, and before he can say anything, he notices that Mary is crying. On asking, she pours out all her anger while crying, and from her words we come to know that she has been in one-sided love with Jocelyn for the last 12 years. But Jocelyn had never paid attention to her. She says that, leaving love aside, You have never even praised me falsely, and neither have you ever wished me on any of my birthdays." Saying this, she starts leaving, but then Jocelyn stops her. Actually, today was Mary's birthday, and Jocelyn had called Mary to his office only to give her a birthday gift. He was not the same as before, so he wishes Mary a happy birthday for the first time today, due to which Mary becomes very happy. Later, Jocelyn is shown participating in a marathon race for which he had been preparing for a long time, but he is so broken from inside that despite being well prepared, he sits down breathlessly before the finish line, and then Florence comes in front of him in a wheelchair and smilingly tells him the same thing that Jocelyn had once told him during her music concert, that he had come here for some work, so he thought, "Let's watch the marathon race," and he found you here. Hearing this, Jocelyn starts smiling, but at the same time, he gets emotional, and tears start flowing from his eyes. After this, Florence takes Jocelyn with her on a wheelchair to the finish line, and with this, the movie ends here. I hope you liked today's story. If you liked this video, then like it and subscribe to the channel and leave a sweet message in the comment. We will see you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.